guys, welcome back to another vlog from Ethiopia. If you are new to my channel, my name is Metsihate and welcome to Being Metsihate. Today I will be sharing with you guys about my experience when I tried to visit Gambella. And if you have been seeing my videos, you would know that I recently was in Ethiopia and I went to different parts such as Awasa, Shashamene, and I actually also went to Gambella. That wasn't my original destination. I was actually in Ilbabur in a town called Uka, and I found out that Gambella was only like a couple hours ride by public transportation, or the buses that they have there. One of my cousins also was attending the University of Gambella. So I thought, okay, I will have my own tour guide. He was a freshman, but still better than not knowing anyone. So I went there. What I found out about Gambella was really interesting, and it was a little bit also disappointing in a sense. So what happened? So we got there, my cousin picked me up from the bus station, and then we headed straight to the Baro River, or we call it Baroans, በዛ ጋር ደግሞ አረንጓዴ ቢጫ ቀይ cars were passing by and people were just staring relentlessly. I wasn't really going around and talking to myself. I was just videoing the surrounding, but people were just staring at us. So I was like, okay, whatever. But people stare everywhere, so that's nothing new, especially when you have this kind of hair. People stared. I'm used to people staring at me. At some point, these cars were passing by, and then I heard someone say, wow, which literally translate oh, don't let them see you kind of thing, as if I'm doing something wrong. I was like, wow, and Miami. I was so confused, and we're like, okay, whatever. We just kept going, and my cousin kind of said oh, I think they don't like people filming on this bridge because it's right by the where the traffic stand or whatever. And I was like, okay. I still didn't ring a bell, but my assumption is why are they pocketing money? They think I'm gonna film them. I was just being silly, so I didn't really take it serious, and so I just kept filming. But I noticed as we progressed walking, you can see people were in the water. There was an ambulance being watched inside the river. And then I kind of also noticed not everybody had their full clothes on. So to be respectful, I actually didn't record. I just maintained my distance. And at the very end, I saw a statue about when they celebrated their 100th anniversary or something like that. And with my phone. I was taking a photo, and then I hear somebody screaming at me in the back. I turned around, sure enough, it was a traffic police. And I didn't hear exactly what he said, but you can tell he was mad. So I was like, oh, why? Photo mansat aichalim? Aichalim. I was like, okay. Yeah, and then he looked at like what I took a picture of. I was like, don't you stand here all day, what you looking at for? But anyway, I guess this is clearly a sign to random strangers already say, don't let them see you, be careful. And then the traffic police also said something. So Baro River is not for tourists or tourism, you know, because as a tourist, like any tourist want to take a picture, it felt like all of a sudden I'm in like North Korea. So I just said, okay. Then we walked. The river has two sides. One side is like painted the regional flag, and then on that side is like an Ethiopian flag. So we walked over to that side to just see, you know. And then after that, we just went to the middle of the town where there is like a square. It's really nice. They had a monument. I was like, okay, let me take a picture of the monument real quick. And so since my big camera was in my backpack, I went to the side. And then there were a couple of like traffic police taking a break, whatever, or I think, no, they were not traffic police. They were just regular police sitting there. And then we were like a few meters away from them, and we just sat on that side. And as I got my camera out and I was arranging the lens, and the lady police asked, what is that? I say, what is what? Yeah, I still wanted, like, I don't want to make assumption because no one, like, he scolded me, but no one is really giving me the rule. It's all speculation. And that's why I kind of like smartly sat next to them just to see what they say. So, and sure enough, she says something. What is it? I say, what is what? And she said that. I say, it's my camera. For what? I said, I'm about to take a photo. I'm a tourist. I'm visiting Gambella. I was in this town, and because it was closed, I took the bus to come and see, to check out what Gambella is like and all that kind of stuff. And she said, be careful. I say, oh really? For what? She's like, well, they would think that you're gonna take መረጃ የምትወስጂ ይመስላቸዋል, which is like, I guess, kind of like saying they think you were there like to take evidence or like spying on them. I was like, what? መረጃችሁን ያገራችሁ አደባባይ ላይ እንዴ ታስቀምጡት እንዴ? That was so interesting. መረጃ የምትወስጂ ይመስላቸዋል እና እዚህ አልተለመደም አለችኝ. She said that people are not used to this kind of like camera and this, and I was like, oh wow. She said that people are not used to this kind of like camera and this, and I was like, oh wow. But she was nice. She wasn't like scolding me or anything. She explained to me, and they told me to go to the cultural center, whatever, and get a ticket. And she also recommended a little shop if I wanted to buy some traditional souvenirs. So I said, yeah, sure, but the office won't open. It was lunchtime, and I'm already getting the impression that they're very paranoid for whatever reason, and we decided to go to the shop. So we went over there, and they're like, wait. I was like, what's going on? We're going to the shop. She's like, this is a prison. You think you can just walk in here and not stop? ሱቅ እኮ ነው የመጣነው ወይ ሱቅ ፈልገን ነው እና ታዲያ እዚህ ዝም ብለሽ መታወቂያ ሳታሳይ ምን ሳትይ ነው የምትገቢው? I did not know the shop was inside the prison, and it's the prisoners who I'm not laughing at the prisoners, but just imagine that, like, do you think you could just like barge in a prison and not stop? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And they're like, you need to leave everything in here. I was like, what? Yeah, no, you can't. I can't take my phone with me. or anything, and then like the prison is that way, the shop is this way, but it's their rules, you know, I have to follow. At that time, my cousin had already called his friend who owned a bajaj, like the small car that people use for transportation there, and so he was the one taking us around, and he was actually born in that area, but his family is from the same town where my grandparents are from, so he was there with us. So what I did is I told my cousin, I said, I'm not leaving my phone or my camera, and they could say, well, you didn't give it to me. Yeah, I'm just cautious, okay? Trust goes both ways. So I told him, please hold my stuff, and I'm gonna run quickly to the shop and, you know, see if I find something. It turns out that shop is actually like a prison. Yes, so the prisoners make handmade, you know, jewelries and stuff and sell it for the tourists. And it was really interesting. Like, the prison is not like here. Like, apparently now I see why they say no phone, because the prisoners were like saying everybody's like, hey, hey, they were all saying some stuff. I don't even know what they were saying, but the stuff that they had were really expensive. I was gonna buy a lot of things, but he didn't give me a discount. So anyway, I got one thing. I really like it. I'm gonna actually show you. Let me pause it. So I got this necklace, this African necklace. It's, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's made with beads, and I like it. Yeah, I can get into my big hair. I don't want to break it. Okay, now I messed up my hair. So this is what I got, and yeah, and then after that I left, and then we went to one of the hotels to grab lunch, and had a really nice lunch. And I also tried to go to the university where my cousin goes, but as I was telling you, there's just so much surveillance, so we just kind of circled the school. Like, I saw the university from a distance, like it's not like you could go in and tour or whatever. So I pretty much was, like I was saying, turned off. So, you know, drove around, just going around, and I'm like, that's this. I was like, looks nice. That's this. I was like, oh, that looks nice. And that's it. I forgot to mention, when I was actually going to Gambella, we stopped at one of the kella. It's like a checkpoint, okay? And I was told that I need to, show my ID and all that. Like, none of that happened. Everything was smooth stuff. But I was buying water. Next thing I know, there is this tall man. He kind of looks like my husband. That was funny. He come in and he's like, touch my phone. I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, መቅዳት አይቻልም እየቀዳው አይደለም አልኩት። ከዛ with the camera with my tripod, I was holding it like that, so I didn't take it out of the tripod because I know I'm about to hop back and then continue recording. But I wasn't stupid. I wasn't really recording at the checkpoint, you know. But ላሳየህ አልኩት። አይ በቃ አይቻልም ማለት. That happened before all the other stuff I mentioned happened. But I didn't read too much into it because I kind of understood like his paranoia was reasonable. Like my tripod was out and stuff. It was not recording like I was saying, but it looks like it's on because the photo thing was still on, opened up the camera part. So I kind of understood that, but I didn't know this actually would become a pattern once I got to the city. I don't know if we stood as a tourist, or I don't know if like y'all don't even take like photo in Gambella. But yeah, I can't imagine a life without photo. No, I tried. I can't. Yeah, but this was a good souvenir. I love this. Another thing also I noticed, like the drivers, when they leave the bus station, they're like paying for these random guys, and the driver was really grumpy the entire time because like a traffic had stopped him, saying that early in the morning that he was chewing gat or jat, just chose to like, okay, you're not gonna drive. So he was sitting all day, and when he finally got the chance to, you know, to get back to work, and these like wannabe gangsters were hustling him to give him money. And another interesting thing that they did is they actually asked me more money to sit at the front, and which they're not supposed to. Then I noticed he was hustling the driver for that, and I was like, I felt like I need to say something. I was like, do you know that he actually took more money from me for sitting at the front? He's like, oh, why you didn't tell me? I was like, yeah, he did that. That's why I'm telling you. Like, it was such a weird experience, you know? And I like taking public transportation, interacting with the locals. I feel like that's the best way to navigate and when you go to a new place. And I probably wouldn't have seen all these like variables if I was, you know, taking a personal car. But I'm glad I took that. If you were to live in that place, like, it gives you an idea. The road from Uka to Gambella is really nice. It's 2 hours, really nice road. And then they had this road that they called Kulalite, very windy. So I was able to see and just, you know, and then sit a little bit more comfortably and record. So I'm still gonna share the scenic route. I actually have a whole lot of videos of the roads as I was traveling, either from Juma to Uka or just throughout Addis. And I think I'm gonna just pile them all up and probably just upload it. If you haven't been in Ethiopia, or if you miss your town, or if you wanted to see the changes and stuff, you will be able to see. And I am almost sure when I went to Shashamane, while I was recording, trying to find what we thought was a Jamaican's town, I know I almost recorded one of the buildings that got burned down recently, which is very sad what happened. The drive back was really beautiful because it was late afternoon, so as the sun was setting and I was sitting on the front, I was able to record. At the end of the day, everything is an experience. Maybe you have been in Gambella, maybe this is not what you recall, but like the world is so dynamic and everything is changing constantly. Maybe this wasn't your experience, but this is definitely what happened to me when I went there for the very first time in 2020 in February. So that was my experience in Gambella. Thanks for watching. I hope you all are doing good. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Show me some love. And until I see you in another video, bye-bye.